The monster has been tamed, and Denny called the shots.
Boo.
Welcome to another episode of the Armchair Crew Chief. My name is Jordan, and thank you guys for listening in. Please feel free to give this episode a like, share, and tell everybody about it. All the cool kids, because that's what they're listening to nowadays, the podcasts. We fit right in there with Joe Rogan and Cat Williams. So, my name is Jordan. I am with Rebecca, my lovely wife. And let's go ahead and dive into Dover. Dover was pretty interesting because of the whole idea with the temperature swings that they had.
Yeah. Very big temperature swing.
We're talking about 30 degrees. I think it was like 50, 58 or so on Saturdays, the high, going to 82, 83 or so on Sunday. So huge swings.
And the track temperature was like a 40 degree.
Yeah, it wasn't
difference.
like 70 and 110 or something like that.
115.
115. So big changes. Let's go ahead and dive in. We did have a repeat winner from this race from last year. Tried to make it 2 repeats, but we'll get into that later. Thanks, HMS. Sorry. Anyway, qualifying for Xfinity, we had our top 10 were Taylor Gray, Jesse Love, Chandler Smith, Kyle Weatherman, Sheldon Creed, Austin Hill, Allgaier, Riley Herbst, Brandon Jones. Finishing out stage 1, we had our top 5 were Riley Herbst, Sheldon Creed, Cole Custer, Brandon Jones, Justin Allgaier. And unfortunately, in that race, we had some hiccups there with the results. I mean, who was it? It was Haley Deegan and somebody else got into an accident.
JJ Yeley.
They ended up getting into an accident themselves.
But you couldn't see it because of Fox.
Yeah, thanks Fox.
They were doing really horrible. Horrible.
Yeah, we'll cover that here. Well, next up, everybody was looking at Ryan Sieg for and seeing how well he could do. Well, something happened. A line broke. His car caught on fire.
Yes.
Like
fire
black,
out both sides.
billowing smoke coming out of it. And Fox told you it was Matty D.
Yeah. And then they put you inside of a car cam and said it was Ryan Sieg while we're watching Ryan Sieg on fire.
Right. So, his incident was on lap 27, and then we ended the stage, and that's when our stage end, we get into the Allgaier winning the stage, Brandon Jones second, Custer third. And then moving on to that, Blaine Perkins got into an incident. That was the only thing after in stage 2. So we had that one. Stage 2 ended with Cole Custer, Austin Hill second, Jesse Love third. Custer came off and came on pretty well, being a fairly strong car.
Yeah.
And then we had a red flag. Well, we had a caution, drive around, and they red flagged for a little bit. They had a little bit of rain come through Dover, which, if you're not familiar with Dover, it is in Delaware, close to the Atlantic Ocean. Mm-hmm. And so weather changes easily there.
Yeah, I thought they were going to give it to...
Yeah, I thought they were going to call the race.
Yeah, I thought they were going to call it.
I mean, and then they it was like yellow flag. After that, people came in. Custer finally ended up coming in. I guess he was going to run out of fuel.
Yeah.
And those restarts were pretty wild. We had a restart incident with... it was Sam Mayer, Taylor Gray incident in turn 2, but that was after Brandon Jones and AJ Allmendinger got into it on the backstretch.
Yeah.
So that was lap 175. 185 was the Sam Mayer incident, and then we got into another incident on another restart because they kept throwing cautions for the rain.
Yeah. So we ended up having, 2 or 3 green-white checkers? Just 3.
I think it ended up being, actually,
It was 3. Green, white, checker.
Yeah.
Because we had a crash, and then we had a really good crash.
Yeah, we had a crash. So we had the 185 crash, and then we had 195 was Allgaier, Sammy Smith. So that was still under regular racing. That brought out the first overtime. Then Allgaier, Sheldon Creed, Austin Hill got into it. And that was great to watch because they were actually racing each other. And it was just a racing incident that happened where they tried to drive up on each other and lost it. But then Austin Hill tried to run people up the...
Austin Hill was... Oh, he was terrible. His car was not very good, so he was being the dirty driver that he is and kept trying to crash Sheldon Creed. He kept trying to crash him.
And then we ended on a... So that lap 209 was what we ended. 10th caution.
Yeah, well, because that's when Austin Hill crashed himself.
No. Justin Allgaier, Brendan Poole caused that incident.
No, but the one before that. There was one before that.
Yeah, on lap 202 was Allgaier, Sheldon Creed, and Austin Hill all got into it.
Yeah. That's because he couldn't hang, and then his car finally...
Yeah, it was interesting. It was
terrible because he was going to crash whoever out to win that race because his car was not good, and like I said, he's a dirty driver. So, but he crashed.
Yeah, and it kind of it stinks because the racing was okay. It still wasn't that great there because the tires weren't. Well, that was Cup Series. It was so cold that rubber was not being laid down on the track. So it caused for a little bit more wear, interesting racing. Towards the end, we started getting decent fights for the finish and the lead. But other than that, it ended up, I don't know. Carson Quaffle, he ran the 88. He did really good. He didn't do so hot qualifying. He had one of the fastest laps in practice. And he worked himself up. He was actually leading the race on the last restart.
Yes.
And unfortunately,
he was leading the race at the last 2 restarts.
Yeah, he was up. So he was up there hanging. Unfortunately, his car, him and Ryan Truex raced each other very cleanly. His car just didn't have it at the end. So the final top 3 were Sam Mayer, Carson Quaffle, and Ryan Truex was our winner. He won last year on Sunday. Because we had rain and all that. So those were our winners there in Xfinity Series. Still, I don't know. It wasn't so great of racing. It was better than Cup Series. Cup Series was trash, yet again. You had some people vying for spots in the back, but nothing too much in the front.
Not really. It's still...
So we had a total of 12 lead changes. And... you had some of them. You had a couple battles for the lead that just happened.
The lead changes, though, were more because they had green flag pit stops.
Yeah, a couple of them were because of green flag pit stops. Going into qualifying for a Cup race, we'll just jump right into that. This is where the big swing was because the way that they practiced and everything was colder than the actual race. So our top 10 qualifying were A.J. Allmendinger, Alex Bowman, Michael McDowell, Briscoe, Hamlin, Noah Gragson, Tyler Reddick, William Byron, Ryan Blaney, and Kyle Busch. And then getting into our first wreck that we had was on lap 40. Todd Gilliland ended up busting his car and coming down. And then during those pits, Corey Heim and Tyler Reddick got into it. So Corey Heim was running the 43 car for
Eric Jones
because he had a spinal fracture from Talladega. And that was apparently it was nastier than people thought because if you look at the car, it doesn't look too bad. But then whenever you look at the replay after a week later, because Fox is how they are, you see actually him bounce off the wall and then Bubba hits him immediately, and it's like an accordion whiplash. So it kind of makes sense.
It was like all the energy was going to the back of the car, and then Bubba hit it, so then it all came back. So all of that went right into his back.
Yep. Keselowski spun and ended the stage. on lap 119. Our stage end was, our top three were Truex, Byron, and Reddick. Moving on to stage two. Stage two didn't have any cautions. It was race free.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of the green flag stops came in. That ended, top three were Larson, Bowman, and Hamlin. And then if we go in, we had our Josh Berry, Ricky Stenhouse incident in turn 2 on lap 322. Which that's the one that did in somebody, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. So we had that one. And then on lap 330 was our last caution. That was Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace hit the wall hard.
Yeah.
So did Christopher Bell. They both hit hard. Same with William Byron.
Yeah.
It was just an overall bad wreck, hitting the outside wall. Leading to the final, as we talked about, Denny Hamlin won the race. Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, and Chase Elliott round out your top 5. And this is where I get to that one caution that happened with Josh Berry. I wanted to see what Truex would have done with his car, because he was actually contending and moving up. He started 15th and then marched right up the field to win the stage 1.
Yeah.
And he had a pretty fast car. He lost it a little bit fighting off Larson at the end of stage 2.
Yeah. It was getting tighter. His car was
right.
getting tighter.
He drove off his front right.
Yeah.
But on the restart, that one restart with Josh Berry, Alex Bowman was in front of him. Alex Bowman didn't go. Spun the tires. You can't miss a shift in these cars.
Alex Bowman causes so many problems for Truex. It's like those two are magnets, and he's always given him a problem. So
that caused a crash. It messed up the splitter of the car as well as around the louvers of the car. So his aero was horrible, and he still finished third.
Yeah.
And so they were talking so much trash in the booth because oh, the car's damaged, it's going to happen. And then what happened? This car's damaged and is still driving well, which makes me think that Denny wouldn't have gotten the win, and we would have had a Truex Brothers sweep if it wasn't for the 48.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So thank you, Alex Bowman. Thank you for spinning your tires.
Don't worry. When Alex Bowman's contract's up, Corey Heim is going to go in the 48.
And so the reason that we are coming to that conclusion is during the interviews on the pre-race for the race, they were talking about Corey Heim.
Since he was going to be driving for Eric Jones.
Yeah. And that...
Who did they talk to?
They only talked to Hendrick drivers.
And they were all like, yeah, he's really good, and giving him all this praise and stuff. So the only person that could go out of Hendrick is Bowman, because he stinks. So I feel like when Bowman's contract's up, that Corey Heim is going to be going in the 48.
Yeah, so you heard it here first, people. He finished 25th, which isn't bad for his first race, Cup Series race.
Where did Jimmy Johnson finish?
Probably last. Do I still have it up? Yeah, No, I don't have it up anymore, do I? I don't know. Let's find out. Yeah, so Jimmy Johnson raced, and they were talking about him like nobody's business in practice.
It's such a waste.
Because he apparently had a fast car. And but practice, that was in cold temperatures. And he stunk it up.
Yeah, because he can't drive.
So, he finished 28th.
Yeah. Worse than Corey Heim.
Yeah.
Corey Heim's very first time in a Cup car. And he finished ahead of Mr. 7-time.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it is. He's probably thinks like Kyle Busch did in the Truck Series that he's bringing in money for people. So that's why he does this.
Maybe, but maybe all the Jimmy Johnson fans will listen to me when I tell you that they cheated and he can't really drive very well.
Yeah.
Because it's not translating at all.
No.
It didn't translate over to Indy, and it's not translating in this car. Like, he's doing terrible. And if he's a 7-time champion, he should be able to drive this car.
Speaking of Indy, we're coming up where this week it turns over into the month of May. So get your in sync. It's going to be me track ready, and it's going to be a busy week at the end, busy month, especially at the end, because you have. So, if you've been living under a rock for the past few months, Kyle Larson's going to be running. He's going to be doing the dual threat here. He's going to run in the Indianapolis 500 and then fly over to run the Coke 600. And it's going to be busy.
Mm-hmm.
Busy enough. And this honestly surprised me. So Hendrick Motorsports tapped Kevin Harvick.
Yeah. To
qualify and practice in his car, in Kyle Larson's car for North Wilkesboro.
Yeah.
That makes me think that Hendrick Motorsports has something in with Fox in the Cup Series. Because Jeff Gordon was on there for the longest time.
Uh-huh.
And, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of.
Very strange.
Like, why wouldn't you pick one of your reserve drivers?
Plus, he never drove for Hendrick, did he?
No, not that I know of.
Not that I know of either.
But still, why Harvick, of all people? You have reserve drivers for a reason.
Yeah.
Allgaier. You have Junior Motorsports that can pull the car out and run there. Or pull, like, somebody from Truck Series, like in Spire.
Corey Heim.
Somebody. Well, no, Corey Heim's Toyota now.
True. But you
have... Okay, so you have the trucks. Spire Motorsports is a Hendrick spinoff.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Why not pull somebody from there that's... I mean, yeah, Harvick's been around the track, I guess. But still...
I don't know, unless Harvick's like, hey, I want to drive another couple races.
Take Junior. What the heck? Rick? Junior's actually going on vacation. He's going to be gone for a while. I saw that popping up on his podcast, where they're actually going to be doing a remote podcast for a while because of the fact that he's going to be going on vacation. Which he couldn't do in the years past because of everything going on. But anyway, yeah, Kevin Harvick's going to be running for Larson.
It is just
and he's the backup for Larson too, in case he can't get back for the All-Star race.
Yeah.
Is it because he's a past champion, and that's how they can keep that car in there?
I don't know.
Also, with the All-Star race, this was announced this past week. I don't know if you heard this. They're going to be running 2 sets of tire compounds.
Yeah. And they're mandatory optional. It's so weird what they were saying.
So, I mean, I get what they're trying to do, because IndyCar, Formula One, open wheel racing does that. You have to run laps, I think it's just a lap, on one of the hard tires, whichever one is soft tires. I don't remember which one it is. But you have to run a set of laps on those.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they're doing. But just say that. It's optional tire, but it's mandatory.
Yeah.
What they're saying is you need to run at least probably 5 laps on those tires.
Yeah.
And the tires they're bringing the regular tire they had, I think, last year, or some variation of that. But the other tire is they're reusing the rain tires and like making a softer compound so that you can go faster, but your times are going to fall off a lot quicker. So it's the same idea that open wheel racing's doing. Just say that. You can't be. I mean,
they're not original.
Well, what I was going to say is motorsports are hard to be original in that.
Mm-hmm.
So just say, hey, we're going to try something else from the other sport. It's not going to. I mean, you're going to get your legacy fans that are going to be upset, but who knows? It could bring more open wheel racing in because they like to see that kind of stuff.
I don't know. I think it's just dumb. I think it's dumb.
I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens.
But at the same time, it might be a way to get better racing and competition because we can't pass in this car on most of the tracks.
This car is trash on everywhere except for
super speedways.
Well, it's trash on super speedways. What are you talking about?
We save fuel for 50, 60 laps.
Okay, if they didn't save fuel, there's better racing than the mile and a halves.
Yeah, the small tracks, like,
and the small tracks suck. They just go in a line.
Bristol's the only one that had a decent run at it.
Yeah, because their tires were blowing up.
Mile and a halves are where this car shines. If you go back and you look at everything, and yes, the leader runs away for 15, 20 seconds, which is stupid, and it's usually a Hendrick car. But the racing in the back area in the middle of the pack is a better race than it was with the other cars.
I don't think so. I disagree. I think it's trash pretty much on almost every single track now. There's no short track racing at all.
No, the car...
And that's horrible.
The car is too stiff, I think is what it's boiling down to, is it's too stiff. The car is not flexing so much in the racing to cause any effects. That's what I'm coming down to. Because plus the fact that they're running downforce underneath the car instead of on top of the car now, that's an issue.
And they're weenifying the races by doing everything by fuel and not actually going.
Right. So, I don't know. Our resident expert here in the feline world, what do you think about this, Luke? He says it all stinks. So, moving on, big news, not really NASCAR related before we go into our standings and so on. From March, the beginning of March, Penske, and this is, it still is a head scratcher. So Penske modified their push the pass that open wheel car racing has, so they can use it whenever, and they got caught. But how do you get caught when Penske owns IndyCar?
But how do you get caught? Like, how many weeks ago was that?
It was in the beginning of March. We're at the end of April.
Yeah, like
6-7 weeks.
Like, how does that work? So only for that race? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, how they know?
I have no idea.
It's
but they
crazy.
Found out. But the thing that gets me is Roger Penske owns IndyCar. And Penske is the one that got caught cheating.
I don't know. Were they just trying to stir up some drama in there?
I guess so, because nobody's watching. Especially the race. I don't know what race they were. They were at Skip Barber School racing this past weekend. And somebody dropped a mannequin from one of the crosswalks, which I found to be very, very interesting.
It was like a blow-up doll, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't a blow-up doll. It was a mannequin because one of the drivers ran over it and the hand shattered.
Oh.
Unless that was totally fake, but I don't think it was fake.
I don't know. It looked blow-up dollish to me.
So, it'll... I don't know. It's very interesting. I think IndyCar has kind of run its course. I think it's kind of dull and boring. They're having this drive. Honda wants out of it. Chevrolet's the only other team in there. So
it is boring. They also have too many rules.
Yeah.
About passing and stuff. It's dumb.
Well, I mean, the other one.
I get they have to have some rules because they're going so fast.
They're going so fast, and you got open wheels, so they can't bounce off each other.
Yeah. Like, I get some of it, but some of it's like, what?
Yeah. So, moving on we're focusing back into NASCAR, our way too early Cup Series standings, as I like to call them, because we still haven't even hit the All-Star race. We have our top 5 are Larson still first, Truex second, 15 points. Still 15 points back.
Well, they finished second and third.
Chase Elliott third. Denny Hamlin moved up 2 spots. Reddick fifth. Byron dropped out 2 spots. What I find is very interesting is you have Larson has 6 stage wins. He's led 570 laps. He's got a DNF. Truex has got more top 10s. Larson's got more top 5s, and he's got a win. So if Truex has a win, he's blowing him out of the water like he did last year.
Mm-hmm.
So when's that?
And if his team would get it together, goodness.
Yeah. 'Cause same thing with Kyle Busch. I mean, he actually showed some promise. Now, I think
he did.
he's got the RCR curse.
I think he does not have a good team.
Well, I think RCR is pushing everything towards Xfinity instead of to Cup Series.
Oh yeah. Well, they have a good driver, and then they got their dirty driver that is winning races. So.
Yeah. Ross dropped down a spot. He's 10th now. He's got
Ross is like, it's like he gets up there and he's like going through the field, and then just by the end of the race, it just doesn't. He's not having very good finishes.
He's got the juju going against him too, because everybody in the world still thinks he's a crappy driver. And,
he's the only one that is actually racing.
God forbid that you actually touch cars, because these are full body cars.
But here's my thing: Austin Hill does the same thing and worse, but he's so great.
Yeah.
So why is Austin Hill so great?
You have the same people that are complaining about Ross Chastain do not watch on Saturday. They only watch on Sunday when they get home from Mass or whatever.
But I feel like Ross Chastain does not intentionally wreck people to win the race.
I don't think he does either.
He will race that car to the edge, and he might crash, and he might take somebody with him. But
that's what Kyle Larson was doing back.
Yeah,
Chip Ganassi.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Bounced that son of a bee off the wall.
He'd hit the wall every single race.
Yeah, well, Reddick used to be like that too, where they would run so stinking close.
So now they're all like, "Oh, he sucks," and then you've got owners, Hendrick, saying he can't be touching my drivers like that. He needs a talking to. No, you need to stop wussifying the sport. The dude is actually racing. He's not taking people out on purpose. He's racing, but we have Austin Hill that he can't hang with cars, and he takes them out. He took SVG out. He tried to take Sheldon Creed out, and he would have taken Carson Quaffle out too if if he didn't wreck himself.
Right. So let's look at the bottom of the barrel. This is 16, because 16 is the cutoff. Keselowski dropped 2 spots. He is at the cutoff.
I feel like he's getting frustrated, and he's just wrecking.
Probably. Bubba dropped 4 spots. He's 15th. And you got Seabell drop 4 spots too. That's your 15, 16, 17.
Hold on. Did you notice something when they talked to Bubba? Bubba's going to be a dad.
Yes, he is.
I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They showed a picture, I guess it was last week. Amanda is pregnant. Yeah, Bubba had to say some smart-A comment. Oh, I'm going to be a dad, so I need to be more responsible and everything. Just shut up, Bubba, and be yourself.
But he still was himself. He was being grumpy.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, Bubba is a love or hate kind of person. People love him because he's got that stupid, snarky attitude, and people hate him because he's got that stupid, snarky attitude.
Well, and he's so hot and cold. He's never level. Like he's either like depressed or super excited. Or he's like super mad, or he's fine. There's no he can't level out ever. He's just up and down.
I also think people will say it's the DEI. I don't think it's the DEI thing that's getting him big headed. I think what it is he's actually moved to a race team that he can contend with, because you have these issues. Look at Wood Brothers. Wood Brothers is a piece of trash right now. The only reason Wood Brothers is around is because it's the Wood Brothers name won, and Penske can't have more than 4 cars under their name. That's the only reason Wood Brothers is around. One. Same thing with, Legacy's trying to change that, but that's the same thing that happened with Petty Enterprises and all that. Not Petty Enterprises. You had Petty Enterprises was great. This just like Wood Brothers. Now they are just sitting around. They're drug around to keep the boomers watching, because they're like, oh, that's Richard Petty's number. I don't care if it's a Toyota driving it. That thing needs to be a Chevrolet or a Plymouth Superbird. And these people are crazy. Yes, he did run a Superbird. The King. Cars.
Okay, no, I'm
But it's all these boom.
Giving me that face for what you're saying.
But it's true. I mean, I feel that these teams are around just because now they're trying to lump Jimmy Johnson in with that too, and trying to like all the petty enterprise fans are like dying off. They're at that age, and I don't mean that in a mean way. So let's go ahead and get all the old Hendrick 7-time fans. Hell yeah, 7 times got a team now. Let me cheer for him. And the team stinks.
Yeah, and
you have a driver like John Hunter Nemechek, who is Mr. Plow Jr.
Chick Hicks.
He's Chick Hicks, yes, but he's also Mr.
But he is Chick Hicks.
You know who else is Chick Hicks? Brandon Jones. You see how many sponsors are on his fire suit? My goodness. He's got about 30
poor guy
sponsors.
though too. He's been getting into so many things that is not his fault this year. Oh man.
Yeah.
But okay, so here's my thing though. Like, why is it that way? Because I think Eric Jones is a good driver. So like, what's not translating? Like
they're a secondary Toyota team. 1, 2. I don't think Eric Jones is as good as people think he is. I think he's a mid-tier driver. I don't think he's a top driver because he was with Gibbs, and he didn't do so hot with Gibbs. He didn't get a win or anything like that. Or if he did, he got one win or something like that at Michigan. I think he did win.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but that's like, look at Corey.
No, I feel like he's a better driver than what he gets.
Yeah, maybe it's just the equipment then.
Equipment-wise.
But look at Corey. I think Corey would be a lot. Corey's starting. His team is playing down because they're putting their money where they have the biggest shot, and unfortunately, that's still part of this thing. As much as NASCAR tried to take all that stuff away, it's still part of it.
Oh, it definitely is.
But if you throw Corey in for a season and a half, I think he's going to start contending for playoffs. If he's in a bigger name, a Gibbs, an not even an RCR so much anymore, but can't even say Stuart Haas to an effect, even though they're lower tier now.
Speaking of Stuart Haas, Noah Gragson did really well.
Yeah, that was his best Cup Series finish, if I remember
6th.
correctly. So that was pretty good.
Yeah.
So moving on, we are at Kansas. Kansas, then Darlington. Darlington's a Mother's Day throwback race, but Kansas is first. And guess who's racing again on Kansas?
Jimmy Johnson.
Trucks. Trucks are back.
Oh, trucks are back, finally.
They will be running, they're running the Heart of America 200. It's a 1.5 mile race. Stages are 30, 60, 134. So
that's interesting.
Yes. Very much so. I don't think we have an entry list for them. I could be wrong. Here we go. Sorry. We do have an entry list for them. Heart of America. We have Brett Moffitt running the number 1 for Tricon Toyota. Mason Massey. Pickle Nick. I'm trying to see if there's anybody that sticks out. Jen Jo Cobb's going to be running. She's going to try. I guess she's going to try and qualify.
Mm-hmm.
Ty Dillon's going to be running. Well, he's been running that car. There's nothing new there. I don't see anything sticking out currently that's out there. Yeah, so it looks like we're just going to no Cup regulars in that one. So, moving on.
Why would anyone want to be racing Kansas?
I don't know. Kansas is a really weird race, too, because it's like it's got a tri-oval.
Something.
It's a 1.5 mile of the tri-oval, because it's like an egg where the chicken's trying to push out of it, and it just pushes out on that oval.
I kind of feel like it's boring.
So it's a 1.5 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Yeah, I know.
1.5 miles.
So Truex, you need to get the pole.
He's not going to get the pole.
I know.
Ford's going to get the pole, and they're going to crap the bed yet again. It was in Ford's hands, and I got so upset about the race at Dover because they were. I'm like,
I really thought they were going to give it to him.
They're going to give it to Ford.
Yeah,
this is stupid.
Yeah, I like Cole Guster, but I didn't want him to win because it was Ford. Just to rain delay, whatever. I don't like that.
So we have also the Crown Royal Purple Bag Project 200 at Darlington. That's at Darlington. So I guess Xfinity is not running. Xfinity will not be running at the race.
Yes.
Kansas. So it's Trucks and Cup Series. So that's why. That's pretty. Purple Bag Project 200. That's at Darlington. So then let's go ahead and moving on up to that deluxe apartment in the sky. Kansas Speedway Advent Health 400. 80, 165, 267 as stage breaks.
How many laps is it?
267.
Huh?
267 laps. First stage ends at 80 laps. Second stage ends at 160 laps.
Okay, no, I want to know the length of them, not when they end, because then I have to do math.
There's 260 laps in the whole race.
Okay.
Our feline correspondent has just made some ruckus. But that's it. It is. Stage 1 ends at 80. So from 80 to 165. I know what you want to know. Let me pull that up.
That's 85.
Stop it. There we
go. It's 80, 85.
And whatever. Cup stage lengths. This is what you want to know.
Yeah.
Let's go here to the 80, 85, 102. 267 laps for 400 miles.
They're not breaking them up well.
Well, look, yeah. So that is that. Let's look.
I feel like that when they're broken up like that, that's when they don't race.
It's a mile and a half.
No, I know it's a mile and a half too, but I mean,
race.
They're like, this car stinks, so we're just gonna do the fuel mileage crap. So we're only gonna go 50% throttle, and that's it.
I hope they fix this car. You have so many people complaining about this car.
They should be fixing this car right now.
Take a page from Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball has come out and said, now it's 2025, they are going to fix the crappy jerseys.
Not until 2025.
Right. So they're going to go back to bigger names.
So all these guys are wearing see-through pants that rip when they slide for 2 more years?
A year. It's 2024.
Oh, well.
So anyway, let's go ahead and look at our entry list here for our Advent Health, the 5th annual Advent Health 400. This was last updated on 4/17/24. Ross Chastain's going to be running the Busch Light Crocs car. Austin Cindric is Snap-on. Dylan is getting bioethanol. Josh Berry, Overstock. I hate that car. It's not original in my opinion. Again, another one, non-original. HendrickCars.com, Kyle Larson. We have Brad Keselowski, Consumer Cellular. Corey LaJoy, Gainbridge. That's going to look the same. It's like,
yeah, I'm not digging the Gainbridge this year. I mean, at least they have a more consistent sponsor, but the car is just blah.
Cheddar's is back on Kyle Busch. I need to go to Cheddar's soon. Chase Elliott.
Yeah, they got some honey biscuits that are so good.
Just need to take the trip. Take the short jaunt
Cheddar's,
over
send us some biscuits.
You hear us, Cheddar's? Hook us up. You're over an hour. You're an hour away from us. Hook us up, please. Napa on Chase Elliott. Gragson's running Bass Pro Shop Winchester. The Denny Hamlin's running Sport Clips. They think he might three-peat this. Dover, Kansas, Darlington. That's what NASCAR.com
I
is
hope
coming
the
out
heck
saying.
not.
It's a high probability of this.
Well, he has won Darlington a lot.
So moving on, Ryan Blaney's running Menards and Cardell Cabinetry. Chase.
You always say Menards for me.
Menards.
Yeah.
Chase Briscoe is running Rush Truck Centers in Cummins. Then you have Riley Herbst is running for Rick Ware on the 15. Monster Energy Zero Sugar.
Okay. I was I was really rooting for Riley Herbst, and then he did that stupid stuff with Haley Deegan.
Yeah, and then the
wouldn't
comments
push
that he
her,
made
and then his
afterwards.
comments after was
I
like,
did that for everybody.
I did that to the 21 too. What? I'm not allowed to pass people? No,
It's the way you did it, dude.
Yeah, you purposely didn't push her. Like,
You lay off the throttle so she loses momentum, and then you go around her.
yeah, and like for a while, because she went back like 10 spots, and then he's like, I'm gonna go around you.
Yeah.
Derek Kraus is going to be running the 16. ProjectWyoming.com. Mr. Busher is going to be running the Castrol Edge car. Good old Moody Blue is back for Martin Truex Jr. auto owners. Yahoo is back for Seabell. That did not pan out so well this year.
Seabell's having a tough year this year. Didn't he wreck in
Practice? Or no, qualifying, I think it was. Yeah, qualifying he wrecked.
Yeah.
Yeah. His show car is going to be on display here. That's what's happening next weekend. On the 10th, Friday. Down at Gap Power. The 20 show car, the Walt 20 show car is going to be down there.
Down there or up there?
No, down there.
Where?
Gap
they don't
Power.
have. They don't have
They'll
enough.
find a way. I don't know. We're going to walk our rear ends down there and check out the car and get some donuts.
Maybe they'll be in like the Weiss parking lot.
That would be cool. Then you have, let's see, we talked about Yahoo, Harrison Burton, Motorcraft Quick Lane. He's not doing so hot in that car. But again, that's one of those cars they don't get a lot of funding. Harrison Burton.
Oh, yeah, he's not.
Joey Logano, Shell Pennzoil.
He's not doing so hot.
He's in the playoff hunt now, though. He's like fifth. No, he's like 13th or 14th now.
I'm just messing.
He's still not doing so good. Money Lion is running Bubba. William Byron is RaptorTough.com.
Mr. Vanilla.
Daniel Hemrick is
You say
running...
Mr. Busher. You need to say Mr. Vanilla.
You know, it's funny. I was looking at some of the older pictures of when Nathan and I went to Dover in 19, the last playoff race that they had there. And the picture of him in there, because he was in the playoff. And he was so stinking young in that picture. Anyway.
He's so vanilla.
Henrik is running the LA Golf. The 33...
LA Golf?
Yeah, it's a golf store. Just a... They run a lot with Colleague. But they also ran with Austin Dillon. I think once or twice. Your favorite driver is running the United Rentals, number 33, Austin Hill. Michael McDowell's back into the loves. Todd Gilliland's got Long John Silver's. Sorry, Long John Silver's is not that great. HaasTooling.com.
Apparently,
for Ryan
it's
Preece.
really good because they're still around. I don't know how they're still around.
Maybe it's like the mattress firm.
I was just thinking the same thing.
They launder money. It's like I don't remember I never really watched it. Breaking Bad, El Polo Loco, or something. The the fried chicken store in there, which.
I totally was thinking the exact same thing.
Ryan Preece is running HaasTooling. That's another spot that should not be. He had bad luck at Dover with the foam in the car catching fire.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the dude has not performed in that car. I can't believe they took cold mustard down to bring him up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you got John.
Although I do think Cole Custer did need to go down. He did.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing that great, and it really helped him, I believe. I think they need to do that with Ryan Preece. Because I don't think he's terrible, but he's just not...
No, he's not that good. He's
not that good.
He's never vying for a front top 10 spot, really.
Yeah, I know,
Like
but that's how Cole Custer was.
But then again, it's also Stuart Haas, too. And Stuart Haas got put on the crap list.
Yeah, but my man Gregson is moving on up there. He's floating that team.
Yeah, he is. Him and Briscoe. They're talking about getting rid of 2 of their charters.
Briscoe was doing pretty good.
Yeah, which the NASCAR wants to get rid of the charter system. Just get done with it.
They need to, so they can be like back in the day when anyone and everyone could just come and qualify for the race.
Yeah, but I
don't think it's going to happen because them cars cost too much dang money.
The cars cost too much money, but also you got these teams that are paying out the wazoo for these charters, and now you're like, we're going to get rid of them. It's like, how would I would not want to be a team that just spent, $7 million
Is
on
that why
charter.
J.J. Yeley got rid of his?
That's why, not him, Live Fast. B.J. McLeod got rid of his.
Yeah, what happened with J.J. Yeley? Because he didn't even have a sponsor on his car this week.
I don't
know. Moving on, John Hunter running Family Dollar, Eric Jones running Dollar Tree, Tyler Reddick's running Monster Energy, Ricky Stenhouse is running Minute Rice. That's another story we'll talk about. We'll close it with that.
He's got all food. And beverage.
So apparently,
sponsors.
Since we're going to go ahead and talk about this, rumor has it that one of the co-owners, or somebody higher up in JTG Daughtery wants to leave and is leaving to go to Joe Gibbs, and they're going to bring Kroger with them. That leaves 90% of the races for JTG without a sponsorship next year, because Kroger's what's carrying that team.
Mm.
So that and Blue Buffalo, right?
I don't know. Is that why it's always food on the cars?
Could be. Ally for Alex Bowman. Justin Haley is running Children's Mercy Hospital. Ty Gibbs is running Sirius XM this week.
I don't understand how a hospital can sponsor a car.
I don't know. Well, look at Advent Health. Jimmy Johnson, your buddy Jimmy Johnson's back in there.
I told you he was going
Toyota.
to. You didn't believe me. You said trucks.
Yeah. Yeah, we're both right. Delaware Life, Carson Hosevar. He needs to get a new sponsor. That sponsor stinks. Zane Smith. Spire needs to get some new paint schemes out. These things are dull.
Yeah, considering all the good ones they've had.
Well, no, that wasn't all Spire. That was, the team that he had before that. Corey LaJoy had before that. The little, one-off little family team is the team that had the Scooby-Doo car, had the hair car.
Yeah, no, I know. But even last year, though, he had better sponsors and better cars.
I don't know. It's kind of sneaking.
Yeah, this year.
And then Zane Smith is Focused Health. So, looking at it, Friday we have the ARCA Series practice. Then Saturday we have the practice and qualifying at 10:25 Eastern, 11:10 Eastern. Practice and qualifying for the Truck Series. 12:05, 12:35 FS1. The Tide 150 for the Menards Series, 2 Eastern on FS1 Saturday. Then Cup Series practice and qualifying, 5:05 Eastern, 5:50 Eastern. That will be on FS1
They're
MRN.
qualifying at night?
Yes.
Weird.
Craftsman Truck's going to be running 8 p.m. Heart of America 200. It will close out at 11:59.
Yeah.
Under the 25th caution.
I don't think it'll have that many cautions. I think the trucks, though, have been the most competitive.
For the most part.
I think Cup's been the worst.
Well, Cup's been trash ever since they moved over this new car.
No, I know that, but television, all that stuff. That's everything.
Fox.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying though too, competitiveness and watching, Cup has been the absolute worst.
We didn't even mention what happened on the Xfinity race. So, Sheldon Creed, congratulations, you have a new son.
Yes.
They copied his tweet and posted it. Now, Fox did this a couple weeks ago where they actually took a screenshot of the computer because you could still see the window from the browser in it.
Uh-huh.
They didn't do it this time. But they took the tweet and then they showed the picture. And then they got the kids' names swapped around.
Yeah. We're what? Were they swapped around? Where I don't know. It was they're so confusing.
They were swapped around.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, you're second guessing yourself. You're like, what?
But
because they keep messing everything up. And as my mother said, she said that they're using AI to do a lot of things now to show you different competitiveness. So, are they using AI to do all this stuff, and that's why it's getting all messed up?
From the production crew that brings you zooming out of the fans during a restart so you miss it, comes Name Swap on Babies. Will be in theaters everywhere and on Fox. Fox is pure trash.
It is.
And I'm not even going to say it's the camera people are great. Kevin Harvick and Clint Boyer, they're starting to get on my nerves.
Oh, I think they're okay. So I have a theory that Junior said those rumors weren't true just to shut him up. But I really think that they're not watching the race at all. They're watching the monitors. No, I think that's frustrating them because Clint has had an attitude all this season. And I think it's because he can't do what he wants to do. He can't commentate how he wants to commentate. And they're telling him stuff in his ear, and he's getting so pissy. And he's not normally like that. He's like fun-loving, and he is a race fan, and I think this is like killing him.
Well, it's getting annoying, and it needs to go away.
It is getting annoying because it's like just like the JJ Yeley and Haley Deegan. The crash already happened, and they're like, oh, they crashed. You're at Dover. Dover is a 1-mile race track.
Yeah.
I remember from going as a child, you can see the whole track.
Especially as high up as they are.
Yes, and then they're up even higher than the fans. They could see that happening. They're not watching the race anymore. They're watching monitors. So Fox's terrible production on their cameras and not showing things, that's what they're seeing as well. And then they try and go back and find a good picture of it. We still don't know what happened.
No.
We have no idea what happened to that.
Yeah, it's a joke.
It's ridiculous.
The production crew's trash.
Why isn't at least one person watching what's going on the track?
You have 15 cameras, and you have a lot of them are stationary.
You can tell too, though, because in previous years and everything, you've heard other commentators like cut into while someone was saying, "Oh, they're crashing." Yeah. They're not doing that anymore because they're not looking at the track.
Yeah,
they're looking at a dang computer.
Yep. So moving on Cinco de Mayo, get your chips and salsa, which we need to go buy, and our nachos and our tacos and all kinds of stuff ready for the Advent Health 400 on 3 Eastern. FS1 MRN has the call. So, finishing how we've all been trying to do this from now on, finishing the broadcast, what do you think? Who do you think is going to win?
I don't know. We got a lot of desperate people. There's people that I want to win. I don't know. I feel like Kozlowski's going to be up there.
I can tell you who's not going to win. A Ford.
Oh, my.
A Ford is not going to win.
Yeah, I don't know.
2311's pretty strong at Kansas.
Okay, so I'll go with Reddick.
Okay.
You were going to pick him.
I was going to pick him. I think it's either going to be him or Bubba.
I don't think Bubba's going to win.
So, as much as I would want, who knows? I don't think Denny's going to do it. You know what? Let's go for it. This is going to be when Ty Gibbs gets his first win.
He could. Although, I was thinking, when I was watching a race and Noah was doing so well, I was like, I wonder if Noah will get his win before Gibbs. Even though I keep thinking Gibbs is going to get his. I'd really like to see Noah win.
Yeah. Well, the past winner at this race last year is none other than our favorite toilet, the Dunny. Denny Hamlin won this race last year.
Well, that's why NASCAR is saying the 3-peat, because he's really good at Darlington.
And then Darlington, the previous winner, was Mr. Vanilla.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's interesting. This is a very interesting track.
You can go Ross Chastain.
No, he's not going to win it. You know how many people would get so upset if Ross won?
What, Kansas?
Just in general. Like the ding-dong that told me like 2 weeks ago, Ross is still going to get punished for 3 years. He has 3 years of penance to pay for what he did.
Like, why?
Give me a freaking break.
How do you even... No.
But
and
Chase Elliott's okay because, you know, it was just a fluke that he wrecked Denny, and he shouldn't have been fined. And so, and cut off. Give me a flip-flop break. My goodness gracious.
He wrecked Corey LaJoie, too, to win at Atlanta.
That Austin Dillon did that.
No, but what's
Not
his
Chase.
Then Chase wrecked him where he wrecked Corey.
I don't know. Chase is a bum. I said it. You heard it here first. Breaking news. Chase Elliott is a bum when it comes to racing. Maybe a great person off the track. A bum when it comes to racing now. And I don't think it's his fault.
He sold him. He got sold to Hendrick Motorsports. That's the problem.
Yeah. And his dowry. His dad's rolling around with his 3 goats and his dowry. Anyway. Is
that why he doesn't have a girlfriend and he's not married?
Could be. Anyway, that is our prediction for Kansas.
We go way off.
Some random tangents. Yes.
I hope you guys love it.
It's
probably not going to stop.
The one person that listens. I mean, we have to grow this. I really want this growing by the... I can't even say that because it's not even that. But, you know, I hope that this thing grows and takes off. And then we're sitting in some studio somewhere talking about this stuff. And then we actually have people on the podcast besides, you know, I'm very grateful for who we had on here the one time. But I want some more people on this podcast. And they can say...
Not just your wife.
And they can say we're bat crap crazy. Because they're like,
yes.
You're talking about a dowry and Chase Elliott? What the heck?
Yes. I don't care.
So, anywho, all right.
I do what I want.
Thank you guys for listening once again. Please share this. Tell people, anybody. Everybody, all the bodies about this podcast. And we will see you guys next week. Have a great one.
Bye.